Hello everyone, Merry Christmas. This is probably my last video for this year, and I'm gonna show you the installation of NZXT AIO cooler to replace my current EM4 Wraith cooler, which is air-cooled. The result is interesting and impressive, and I also showed you the videos from my thermal cameras monitoring the temperatures during the stress test, but they are not very useful anyway because the sensor is actually blocked by the fans on the CPUs, but it's gonna be fun to watch that part anyway. The first part is a quick unboxing of the AIO cooler with a very big and nice box, and followed by the stress test for the air-cooled CPU and the installations. So I hope you enjoy this video that I think I put a lot of effort on doing this. So buying the parts and doing those tests. Let me know if you have any tips or comments on this video.
I'm using Cinebench R23 to do a stress test on my computer rig with the air cooler and with my AIOs. Currently I'm with the pre-installed air cooler. You can see the idle temperature for CPU is around 51 to 55 degrees C. And I'm also using my infrared camera to check the temperatures around the CPU fans at the same time. So I'm going to click on the multi-core stress test on my CPU to see what's going on. It's going to take a while. test is done and I'm getting 9849 for the multi-core score on the Ryzen 5 5600X 6-core, and the highest temperature I was seeing is a little bit less than 70 degrees, so it's like a 20 degrees jump from the idle 50-ish degrees. So now let's take the air cooler off and install the brand new NZXT Z73 AIOs on it. One tip is make sure you run your computer warm before you turn it off. That's going to be a little bit easier for you to take off the cooler off the CPU. So I'm going to remove the GPU first. And I'm going to install the AIO in the front. I have the space for the 360mm AIOs in front. Get up some dust. Okay, I'm gonna gently twist and pour it like this. You can see it's pretty warm, so it's pretty easy to actually take it off. Not too bad, considering I actually lost some paste because I placed my finger onto the paste. Maybe that's the reason the cooling is pretty good with this air cooler for 5600X. We're gonna put on the AIO anyway. My future plan is actually I have a 5800 on my pre-built Alienware. So my future plan is to swap that 5800 onto my personal rig and put this back to the Alienware. It's gonna improve a little bit more performance because I believe the 5800 non-X performs maybe 10% faster than the 5600X. And that's my future plan. Take off the power supply. So now we're gonna clean the paste a little bit. Gently clean it. Yeah, that's it. It's clean now. Another thing is for the fans on the radiator. You can either have you can either install your fans in the front of the radiator to have a push configuration, or on the behind of the radiator have the pull configuration, or you can have the fans on both sides. They have the push and the pull configuration. I believe my case is too short for the push and the pull configuration. Plus, so you already saw my GPU is pretty good for the cooling, so I don't think I need that kind of configuration. I just need either a push or pull configurations individually. And the fans comes with AIO. Is those NZXT fans. They're pretty good, but they are not that good enough both for the noise level and the performance. I'm gonna throw them away and replace them with my Arctic P12 fans. They're pretty good. I'm going to do a push configuration. So I'm going to fix this radiator right here and place my fans on the other side. We have 4 of this come with AIO, and we're going to mount this onto the bracket on the back plate. Now we're going to replace this bracket. This is the one pre-installed, which is Intel. We need to swap this with the AM4 bracket, and to replace it, we need to push it and twist it. Install the AM4 one, place and twist. All done. As I mentioned, 4 slots on my RAMs is blocking this this configuration, so I'm going to twist it 90 degrees, just like this. So make sure the normal position is this. You can see the letters is horizontal, and I'm doing a 90 degrees rotation like this. So make sure the bracket is aligned that direction as well. Just like this. Okay. Carefully place them. Then we're gonna mount them with another screw. Come with the AIOs. You do this one by one each time, not too much torque on it, and gently secure it and tight each of them a little bit more each time. You can see my my pump setup is like this is to the bottom, and the lines all the way to the bottom. The radiator is right here. This configuration helps the bubbles stay on top of the radiator, not going through the pump, which will greatly reduce the lifespan of the AIOs. You can see there's numerous of videos talking about this. So it's pretty much set up. Need to use a power supply connections. So we have the USB port right here. One side is micro USB port, another side is going to connect it to the USB port on the motherboard. which is going to be the bottom usually. We have the power supply for the pump and the fans. The port is right here. And we have connectors for the fans and the power supply from the SATA cable. Secured. This is the connector for the pump. It's going to be on the top to the CPU fan. And now we are connecting all three fans. Right here. And the last one is right here. Okay, all the fans are connected. And we connected this power supply to the SATA cable from the power supply. I have one here, so I'm going to connect it. Okay, connect it. Looks a little bit messy right here, but I'm going to guide them anyway in the future. Now let's put the graphic card back. Oh, one more thing. I forgot to plug this USB port on the motherboard, which is going to be right here. You might won't see it, but it's on the bottom of the motherboard, behind the graphic card. That makes it less visible. Okay. And one more thing is about, I believe, we have another cable for the RGB light. This is optional and have to purchase extra accessories for that. Let's do a little bit more cable management. Try to minimize the messy situation a little bit. Okay, now I'm gonna try to put the graphic card back into the slot. Okay. Everything is in position now. I'm gonna put the power supply back for the graphic card. Okay. And this, all done. So let's turn it on, check it out. Now let's put the graphic card back. You can see the card is too long that if I put on the first PCI slot, it's going to block the lines from the AIO. I'm going to try to put on the second slot. Okay, turn it on. Yeah, everything works, but you can see now the default direction. It's a little bit strange. I'm gonna turn it 90 degrees in the software settings. Now I'm up and running. You can see the temperature is below 40 degrees compared to 50ish or above with the air cooler. It's much more reduced. And we're gonna head onto the lighting and hit on about the Kraken Z3. You can see there's an option that you can rotate the display. Do whatever, actually 4 options from 0, 90, 180, minus 90 degrees. Click on negative 90 degrees. After applying that negative 90 degrees rotation, now the display is working properly. It's nice, everything seems working. One thing I just noticed is there is a known issue about the NZXT AIO freezing with AMD CPUs. So the solution is to download the latest CAM beta. Here, for the cooling part in the software, it's by default it is in the silent mode. I'm gonna let the fans a bit more on the performance side, since I'm actually using a push configuration. That's gonna lose a lot of flow from there. And I'm gonna do the stress test now. Alright, now the temperature is around 33, 34 at idle. And ambient temperature is still around the same from last time. I'm going to start the Cinebench R23 multi-core test. Alright, the test is done. You can see throughout the whole test the temperature was maxed out at 49 degrees Celsius, which is 20 degrees drop from the air cooler, and the performance is indeed improved from 9800 from last time to a 10,219 points. It's like more than 4% improvement from the air cooler. So is it really worth it? I think it's yes, but the air cooler already did a very good job actually for the 5600X CPU. But the big plus is gonna be the future update if I upgrade my CPU from 5600X to my current 5800 non-X CPU, which is much warmer than the current one. And the air cooler is gonna do a great job for that as well, I believe. So thanks for watching. Merry Christmas.